What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kaio, and I'm back again, and I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a podcast. I have not got a name for this podcast because I'm still trying to think of one, so please do forgive me about that. But for our very first episode, I have a special guest with me, and you guys should know him. He is Tekking101. So, Tekking, you want to say hello?
Hello! Welcome to the currently untitled podcast. We'll figure it. You'll figure it out at some point. You know, the name. I hear a lot of people. They'll come up with like the name for something. Like, man, this would be a really good name for a band before you actually write any songs. It's just like priorities first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah, it always happens. Like some bands I listen to, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna go with this name, and then when you look them up and you find them out, you realize they had a band name before that, and then they just changed to the name that becomes successful. So
yeah, there was a well, the big example is the Quarrymen used to be that's what the Beatles were originally.
Yeah.
But I remember my dad used to live in this really crappy apartment, and in the attic of this apartment building, I guess this is where this band used to practice, and I was up there once, and I guess they wrote on the wall in Sharpie, like, this whole letter, and the name of the band was Crow in the Snow.
Oh.
And it was like, if you're reading this and we made it big, then you'll know this is where it started. And I'm like, well, clearly I've never heard of you, so it didn't really go that far. But you tried, and that's all that mattered.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Oh, but no. Anyway.
Okay.
But anyways, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate that, especially being.
Yeah,
the
no
first
problem.
episode.
Anytime. I like to help out my fellow YouTube peeps.
Oh, thank you. But anyways, yeah. So, dude, like, obviously, you've made from what I'm seeing, you've made a return to Bleach with doing some Captain's Unbucked Toes, I believe.
Yeah.
What's it like?
It was really good. For one thing, I was worried I was going to forget a lot of my Bleach knowledge, because when I've talked about Bleach for 5 years, I felt like near the end, like I was Kubo, or I had like a spiritual connection to him, or it's like I know all of these characters. And so after Bleach ended, I obviously focused more on One Piece, and so I'm going back to Bleach, because I just wanted to talk about it again, you know?
Yeah.
I was, what happened was I was driving. I was on this really long drive. It was about like a 2-hour-long drive to Pittsburgh one day. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, you know what? It'd be really cool to talk about Bleach again. But I'm like, but Bleach is over, and I've already talked about everything. But then I reached this point where I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Who cares if I just talk about whatever? Like, I've already kind of talked about, the captains. Okay, talk about the swords then. I mean, like, I think at this point the people just want to talk about the series again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, even if you've talked about Senbone Sakura before, screw it, talk about it again, because it's like that's still Bleach's, a good series, and we can still keep the fandom alive.
Yeah, no, it's good because obviously, as you know, like obviously the anime still hasn't made its return yet. And what I wanted to know is like, what is your actual thoughts? Like, your honest thoughts on? Do you think the anime will make a comeback, or do you think Shueisha's not going to bother?
I think Shueisha is just I think that's just the manga publishing company. I don't know if they have anything to do with anime. They might. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I strongly do believe it'll come back. I think the fan base is there. And then you have, of course, Retro Rhino that made the 1,000-Year Blood Work, fan animation, but it's really solidly good, and he even got Johnny Young Bosch to be in that.
I know, it was amazing.
I know, and he's, I'm a patron of his, and, Episode 2's trailer is going to be out at some point, and it's like, that's just chugging along, and it's like, that's awesome. So, and that video got a bunch of views as well, got like over 1 million hits. So it's like, yeah, if you come out with the Bleach anime again, people will definitely watch it. Yeah, I think it'll come back. Now, as to when it's going to come back, I have no idea. I've not comfortable giving a date at all, not even like a ballpark. It's just like, will it come back? I think so. When? I have no idea.
Yeah, because like the thing is, obviously, with like the manga, the 1,000-Year Blood War, obviously because of Kubo's like injury they had on his arm. Fortunately, they had to speed it up, didn't he? So, unfortunately, from what I've heard, a lot of stuff was left out. Like during
I've heard a lot of stuff about that. I've heard like there was a few things he left out. Like the reason he left out the backstory with like Yuha and the Soul King was because he felt like it would disconnect from the current manga, like it would be too much of a distraction. So that's the reason that wasn't really expanded upon, which that kind of leaves a big mystery. Then I heard like, they just told him at the end, like, speed it up, hurry up, get it done. And then the arm injury. Yeah, there's like a bunch of different reasons why I don't think... at the end of the day, he worked on Bleach for like... By the end of it, it was like 15 years. That's going to take its toll on anybody.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think... what I think what a lot of Bleach fans, obviously including us too as well, that's why we're Bleach fans, but you know, I think, you know, with anime adaptations, I mean, you've seen it in One Piece, like, you know, with the whole Big Mom Brook situation, it's like,
oh yeah, yeah,
it's like he'll do like a certain amount, but then he'll leave it up to Toei to expand on it. So it's like with Bleach, will stuff that Kubo didn't touch upon because, you know, he rushed it, will that be, you know, expanded upon with the anime? Like, will they touch on some other bits to, you know, extend it?
Yeah, and the situation with One Piece is, you know, the manga is still ongoing. At least with Bleach, you know, it's over, it's done. So you could pretty much just expand on more of it. Or I could see even Kubo working with the animation department and just being like, okay, this is something I left out, but I really want you guys to include this. Like, get some notes and stuff. That would be neat.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, after you've, you know, if you finished with like the Zanpakuto Toes, are you looking anything else more into Bleach, or do you think that'll probably be that?
I thought about, yeah. I usually do these discussion series one at a time. Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll select a group. Like last year's big project was, 2017 was the S-Class Heroes and from One Punch Man, and then 2018 was the My Hero Academia discussions. So all the Class 1A. That took a long time. So I was thinking after we're done with the Zanpakuto series, which I think I only have like 6 left, I'm going to do Black Clover.
Oh, nice. That would be a good one.
Because that's a good one. That's the members of the Black Bulls, which I think there's like 9 or I think there's like 10 or I forget the exact number of the people because I'm going to talk about, but I'm gonna do videos on all of them. Yeah. And I've made like 1 video on Black Clover, and it was just a chapter review. And here's a fun little fact: if you're like, people come to my channel for One Piece reviews, of course. So if I do a Black Clover review out of nowhere, you know, it's not going to get very many views, and it didn't. But I feel like if I do the subject with like the discussion, which I'm good at, like the character discussions, then I think that could do pretty good. So I've already decided on the order. The first one of that's actually going to be Magna. So that'll be fun to talk about him. I got to buy some baseball crap. But, yeah, but I have a wall scroll for it. I decided on, I even bought one of the Black Bulls, like cloaks, you know, like the mage cloaks. I have one of those. It's just, I thought on that back in December. It's just, I don't schedule my videos. I just kind of come up with general ideas and I write them all down, and it's like, I'll get to them when I get to them. That's basically how I do things.
Yeah, do you know what? I will admit I'm in exactly the same situation. Like, I'll think of something, like, just out of the blue, I'll be like, yeah, I could do this, like, with, like, the Luffy video. I'm not going to say what it is just yet. That's a little surprise, because still, I want that to sort of, like, be released, like, next week. But what I'll do is when I'm editing it, that's when it'll all be revealed, because, you know, it's something I'm really looking forward to actually doing. It's something I'm like really passionate, because obviously, like, Luffy.
Is it a series or just like the one?
Yeah, video? It's going to be a series. Starting off with Luffy. I'm going to be looking on some One Piece characters. Then I'm probably the thing is, I've decided to change my channel up a little bit, but all will be revealed like I'll probably do like a channel update. But
that's a good thing to do. That's something actually that like when you have a smaller channel. Yeah. And if something's not working out, you have the freedom to kind of move to something else if you want to. Because that happened with me. I talked about video games one video game basically for the first 2 years on my channel. And I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years. This makes me feel very, very old. But anyway, so 2 years on the channel, didn't really take off. I only had like 50 subs. And then I decided to move to anime. And, you know, I had a few subscribers, but nobody really, you know, noticed or cared because I was so small. Yeah. Now, you're pretty much locked in. Like, I can't decide, like, hey, guys, we're not doing anime discussions anymore. Now we're moving to, you know, movie reviews. It'd be like, a lot of people would just leave, and I could understand that. So, you have more of the freedom. It's like, if you're trying something out and it doesn't work, move to something else. That's what I did, and it worked for me, so...
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like you've got a proper dedicated audience. I mean, like when I look at
I know,
like when I look at how many like subs you have, and it's just really nice to know like how like it's like a personality that you have. Really, it's like, and that's a great thing to have. I mean, like is it like a personality, or is that just you like on a general like normal basis? Are you like that with your friends? This is
basically I've always been a weird freaking guy. Like look, I dial it up sometimes, of course, like, you know, something crazy happens in One Piece or something. It'd be like, Luffy jumped off the side of a building! Oh my god. Like, I have to dial it up, but that really is my honest personality, and I think that's maybe the reason it resonates so well, is because I don't have to put on, like a mask or anything when I do this. It's basically just like, okay, what silly, wacky intro are we gonna do today? Oh, I'll do a ballerina dance while wearing a sombrero. Okay, yeah, we could do that. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's like obviously because you go to cons, don't you, around your area? Don't you?
Yeah. I live in the middle of Pennsylvania. It's pretty rural, but there's SetsuCon, which is in Altoona in January every year, and then there's Tekko, which I just went to 3 weeks ago, and that's in Pittsburgh. That's like the major con I go to. I'd like to go to some more though.
Yeah, you should come to the Comic-Con over in the UK, mate, in London. That'd be nice.
Oh, international travel. I do want to visit the UK. I really do. That and Australia and Japan are the 3 places I really want to go to.
Yeah, same here. So when you go to a con, like, what's it like meeting your fans in the real? Like, how does it make you feel when people come up and approach you, be like, "Yo, you're Tekking, like, I love your videos." Like, have you had anything like that? I'm pretty sure you have.
It's normally a really fun experience. When I went to Tekko just a few weeks ago, I probably ran into... I keep running into more and more fans every time I go, and usually what happens is, I say hi, ask them their name, shake their hand, take a picture, they take a picture of me, we take a picture with their phone, whatever. And everyone's, really positive experiences all around. Sometimes they'll give me some fan art or whatever, but yeah, I just love meeting the fans, and I don't get to do it very often. Pretty much only, like, once or twice a year. And because SetsuCon is pretty close to where I live, and I don't think I got recognized there this year, but Tekko it always happens.
Oh, that's good. Well, I mean, like, where I go to the London Comic-Con over here, it's like even though I'm only like a small YouTuber, it's like it just felt like really different, because the last one I went to, I was just walking around. I think I went to get some food because like me and my missus, we had like a stall that she was doing.
Yeah.
And I was literally just walking out of like the hall that they had it in, because we've got like 2 different halls. We've got like the N hall and the S hall, and they're huge. And I was walking out the hall, and this guy randomly went, he literally was like, KAIOKNUCKLES, and I was like, oh, hello. I was like, how you doing? And he was just, engaged in a conversation, and like, it just felt really nice. Like, it just felt like really nice.
Yeah.
I was able to interact with someone who knew me, and it just gave me like, wow, like someone actually, came up to speak to me. It just felt like a really nice experience.
I know, right? It's insane. The first time I went to Tekko, I only met 3 fans there. First time I went to Tekko, I think I had like 20,000 subs, but I still only met like 3 people. And, yeah, it was just a crazy experience being able to meet them like that. And, I get recognized. If I went to like Comic-Con or Anime Expo, I'm sure I'd be recognized a lot more, but it might be overwhelming for me. I'm not sure.
Do you see yourself going to the Anime Expo? I think it is the one that Roger goes to.
Yeah, I want to go. It's in July. And Roger and everybody are going to that because he lives in LA, obviously, and I know a lot of other people that are going to that. I've never been to LA before. In fact, the first time I ever even flew on an airplane was last year.
Oh, really?
I'm a very sheltered child living out in a small mountain village in Western PA. I would love to go, but it's kind of one of those things I really don't want to go by myself, so I'd have to find someone else to go to LA with me, because I'd obviously be spending like a few days out there.
Course.
But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'd like to go.
Yeah, no, because I saw some videos and pictures from people of like going in, and it was just so nice seeing like all these like big YouTubers like meeting up in the real and just like having conversations, having a giggle, having a laugh, and it just looked...
I would love to do it. I would love to go and maybe do a panel with everybody, like Roger and everybody. That would be really neat to do.
You should mention that when you speak to them next.
I should.
So one thing I did want to bring up as well. Obviously, the last Reverie that happened, and
oh yeah, the Joy Boy one.
Yeah, and it seemed like a lot of people like were a bit upset with that one. I don't know what the whole point of that was.
You know what? I think they were upset. I mean, it was an initial kind of backlash, but over time, I don't think it's as bad as it was. It's not like I still get messages about Joy Boy or whatever. I think everybody just kind of moved on from it. But no, what happened was it was just, I think, the shortest one, and Joy Boy decided to make it like a short and sweet kind of angle, and he cut it and just ended it. I think it was like 3 hours? I think it was
something like that.
Now 3 hours for me. Like, I usually do live streams that are an hour and a half long, usually an hour and a half long. So 3 hours to me, that's twice the length of my normal live streams. So I felt like, yeah, 3 hours. That seems good.
Yeah.
But the ones that came before that were just so much longer. I think the one that King did was like 8 hours. It was a lot. I don't remember the exact time, but it was a lot longer. But I think I'm under the opinion it's the the quality of the discussions that we have.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be another reverie.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I mean, I figure, that's the way Joy Boy wanted to handle it. Maybe he could have, at the beginning, he could have said how long it was going to be. But I was fine with it. I thought it was a success.
Yeah, no, I didn't really see an issue. It's just that, like, unfortunately, I had to like leave the reverie early because I had some stuff to do, so I couldn't really stay, and I was going to catch up on it afterwards, which I did. But the thing that I was seeing is that Joy Boy was just getting a lot of flack from people, like saying, and I was just like, what?
Oh, there was also the super chat thing. So the issue with that was, people send in super chats, and it's, the reverie, it's this big event, gets like 4,000 or 5,000 views. So there's a lot of super chats, and then you get into this little bit of into a problem here. It's like, okay, so let's say that we as a group start talking about one topic. Like, let's say we start talking about Big Mom in Wano as a topic, and we talk about that for a few minutes. Then somebody sends like $100 super chat asking about something completely unrelated to Big Mom in Wano. Let's say someone says $100 super chat asking a question about, like, what do you think Brooke? What it was something about Brooke or something. It'd be like, what do we do in that situation? Do we just stop the conversation where we were at, even though we just started it, and then move on to that conversation? So it's sort of like you have to decide at the beginning. Do you move to the flow of the super chats in the chat room, or do you just kind of do your own flow? But I think if I ever hosted a reverie, and the reason I don't host a reverie is because, as you probably noticed through doing just this podcast, my internet is pretty shitty. So hosting a like 3-4 hour long stream, because mine will probably be the same length of time as Joy Boy's was. I don't see mine being very much longer, maybe 4 hours at the most. Hosting something that important with like 5,000 concurrent viewers with all these YouTubers, my internet craps out on me in the first 2 minutes. It'll happen. It'll be my luck. So, but if I ever did a reverie, I would just disable the super chats, and I would just move with the flow of all the other guys in the chat, and we would just move with that conversation. Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it. It's the same way I did with the charity streams. How did the charity streams go? And do you want to sort of explain? They were great.
Like what you did with the charity ones.
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking about this the other day, what the next one will be. And by the way, when I do charity streams, they're like 8-9 hours. I usually do those at another location. I do them at my college where the internet is more reliable. But anyway, so last year, I've always wanted to do a charity stream. Always wanted to do one. I felt like I needed to wait until I had a big enough audience to make a sizable impact. Like, I could have done them, like, when I had, like, 10,000 subscribers. I would have gotten a few $100, but I really wanted to make, like, raise enough money for an impact. So last year, I hit 300K in July, and I thought, all right, this is, I think, the time to do it. 300K, I think I could do some good with that. So one of my fans, his name was Aiden, and he has neurofibromatosis, which is a disease that it's basically kind of like a cancer where it's like cells will replicate and it leads to like tumors all over your body. You've probably seen pictures of somebody with this disease. Yeah. And the tumors are usually benign, but it's like their bodies are covered with it. And so he had that, and so he messaged me, and I didn't even really know about the disease, and I did research on it, and I said, you know what, this would be a really good thing to do. So we did the first charity stream in July of last year, and we raised over $7,500 for neurofibromatosis. The Children's Tumor Foundation was the organization. Yeah. And that was really successful. And that was like a test, because I never did one before, but it was really good. So the next stream I did was at Christmas time last year, and we did it for leukemia, because I had my cousin Kara passed away from leukemia.
Sorry to hear that.
In 2000. Yeah, thank you. It's She lived in Georgia with my other family lives down there. I don't get to see them that often, but I met her a few times. She was a really, really nice, really kind and caring woman.
Yeah.
And she was in remission for a while, and then she just, it was not a fun. A lot of crap went down with the family. That was actually right around the same time my grandmother passed away. But anyway, we did that for leukemia. Me and my uncle, who's Kara's father, he was up here visiting, and we were talking about the first charity stream I did, and he's like, maybe you should do something for leukemia. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. So the second one wasn't as successful. We raised $5,500, which is still really
cool,
good.
Yeah.
All told, I raised over it was close to like $13,000 in charity last year, so that's really good. But I was thinking maybe the reason I made less was because I already did a big one earlier in the year. So I was thinking about maybe only doing one big charity drive a year, and that would be around Christmas time, because that's the time of giving and all that stuff. But I also maybe I'll do a smaller charity stream in the summer, like a small one in June, and then 6 months later December, and then June again. And you know what I mean, like that kind of.
No, it's a good thing. I mean, like at the end of the day, like raising money like for anything really is just amazing, because you're still contributing. You still did something. It's not like no.
The idea I had for it was, I don't know if you remember, but like way back in like, I don't know, 2013, 14 or whatever, there was a lot of like, they called them anime community wars, like people just getting into arguments with each other. Like this person makes a video against this person, and then everybody has to make videos about that, and then people have to make the videos about the people making the videos. And I never got involved with that. The only time I ever got involved was I made like a parody video of it once, but it's like, I'm looking at all that and I'm like, if we really put all of our videos and like our heads together, instead of just doing this massive circle jerk where we're talking about other pointless drama, you could like maybe raise money and for charities and stuff. So that's like, I want to do a charity stream someday, and that's the idea, and here we are.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. It was it's really good, like like being a content creator and just having that influence and being able to do something really good for like any kind of charity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I hope to continue it, and every time we get people involved, you want to be in the next one? You can
sure?
be in the next one if you want to.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm down for that. Sure.
I usually invite. The first time I did it, I think I invited actually, I think too many people. I was like, because I didn't plan out like when each would air and how long each one was, so it was like 12 people, but it was a lot of fun. The second time, I think I only invited like less than 10, like 8, like less than 8 or so. But yeah, if you want to be in the next one, sure.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I'll give you time to prepare. I don't tell you. Like, I usually give everybody, like, I message them, like at least a month, usually a month and a half or so beforehand, like, hey, if you want to do this, because I know making videos takes time, you have a month and a half to make, like, one, it could be like a 5-minute video if you want, just something.
Yeah, sure, so, I'm down for that. Yeah. Thanks, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so, it's always a fun time.
Okay.
I don't know what the...
Go on.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was going to say, so, should we go on to some One Piece now?
Yes, let's do that. Sounds like fun.
I'll
warn you. I warn you. I don't know a lot about One Piece, though. So
oh, yes.
My knowledge is going to be pretty limited.
Ah, damn. Right, so...
Okay.
The big thing that I wanted to ask was, obviously, there was the big, like, huge thing that was going on in the anime community, especially for One Piece. The Big Mom Amnesia thing.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Oh, all right, look.
So go for it.
I've never been a fan of the amnesia cliche. I didn't like it when it was used in movies or video games. I think the most obvious one is if you've ever watched, like, soap operas. I'm not a soap opera fan. But my mother loves them, and my grandmother do, and like all the time in soap operas, it's like Davy fell off a cliff and now he has amnesia, and I'm like, of course he does. So it usually is just a way for the plot to kind of grind to a halt, but that's not to say that every time it's used fails. I liked the way it was used with Sabo because it was a good explanation on why Sabo wasn't present for most of the series, and it was really like basically Oda had to do it that way because he
explosion.
Yeah, he reveals Sabo is still alive at Dressrosa, but then it's like, okay, why did he not do anything up until this point? Why is this the first time we're hearing about it? You pretty much, you either have to write in that he got kidnapped by the world government for the last 20 years, or he had amnesia, because it doesn't really work. So it's like, okay, fine, amnesia. And that was all off screen. And then the Big Mom thing, man, so what I think it's going to lead into is, she, regressed back to when she was like a little kid. and she's going to help them fight against Queen and everybody for right now in the prison. I think that's pretty obvious, you know, because the Oshiruko's there and everything. And so she's going to fight Queen. And so maybe that'll distract everybody like Luffy and Caribou and Raizo and, you know, Kawamatsu and everybody to get out of the prison. Okay, and that'll cover the prison break. But, I mean, it's still, even if she loses her memory, though, there's still going to be problems with her because she could still have her hunger pangs. You know, like, it doesn't matter if she can remember who she was before. She could still go, like, crazy with rage if she doesn't get the food she likes. And, you know, even if she does regain her memories, Kaido's still probably going to attack her. So, you know, it was kind of a little bit of a cliche thing, like, oh, she fell off her ship and bonked her head, and now she doesn't remember being Big Mom anymore. She is going to regain her memories at some point. I'd be surprised if she didn't. But at that point, it might not even matter. Like, at that point, they might already be in the middle of the rebellion, and Kaido might be fighting him, then she gets her memories back. But at that point, Kaido's already coming at her, so you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like, what are your thoughts on, like, the most recent chapters? Because I've kind of seen a bit of a mix, like, reception.
Yeah, I think, I think Act 2 of Wano is starting to wind down here, and we're going to get into 2 prison breaks at the same time. We're going to get the prison break for all the rebellion members and everybody, and then we're going to have Luffy's. So the Yasu thing, I like Yasu. I think he's a great character. I love that.
He's fantastic.
I love that little guy. You know,
yeah.
Probably one of the things next, I love doing the Orochi voice, but I also love just talking about Yasu. Like, hey everybody, welcome to Episu Town. Did you like these brand new, you know, piles of rotted wood that we have on our house? They really tie the place together, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're so depressed, but they're like happy about it. It's like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
it's just inherent comedy there. But yeah, I like the last few chapters. I'm trying to think of something that I really hated. The Hiyori kind of falling in love with Zoro subplot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of people talking about that.
That's probably gonna... I don't know where that's gonna go. Zoro's never really been interested in women at all, really. Kind of the same thing with Luffy. They just kind of don't touch upon it.
Yeah, because a lot of people tend to either ship Zoro with Toshigi or Robin.
Yeah. Now, if they were to tie this back in, like, I don't know, Hiyori's ancestor is like, you know, Ryuma or something, and be like, all right, then they could have like explain the connection between Zoro and Ryuma. That would be cool. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that right now.
Yeah, I guess it's like we're just gonna have to, you know, wait and see. But obviously we're on break this week, aren't we?
I actually don't know. I thought we were, but I could have sworn somebody said that we weren't. So I don't know. If you check the subreddit, they usually are pretty handy. I love the One Piece subreddit. They have really cool posts on there, and they always have like the spoilers up. That's usually because I read the spoilers. It's my job to review One Piece. I kind of need to read the spoilers.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there is a break this week. So don't take my word for that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, as far as because I read the official release now. Yeah, like after that whole Shueisha thing happened. Because I heard that you got a strike, didn't you?
Yeah, I got one strike. It wasn't as bad as the other ones because I mean a lot of people got they really got slammed with their strikes. I got just one and I got it removed fairly easily, but I basically just don't use panels, or if I do use panels I have to add like a tint to them, or I keep them really small on the page. Certainly I'm thinking the thing that really Shueisha got pissed off about was I was putting the manga panels up like full screen, you know?
Yeah.
So I've just kind of stopped doing that, and I don't use that many panels anymore. Because Shueisha, it's like every time they get new management, or every few years, they really go on this crusade where they try to, you know, strike everybody using manga panels, and then it abates for a little while, then they come back to it, then it abates for a little while, then they come back to it. Yeah, so for right now, though, I'm still just gonna... I still like doing it, and I'm still gonna do it. It's just, yeah, less panels. I guess that's the rule I have to follow now.
Yeah, like, I've kind of stopped the reviewing game, like, but I'll explain everything to you, like, after the podcast, so you have, like, a bit more of a, you know, better look on it. But, you know, I've kind of been, like, rethinking what I want to do. I'm still primarily going to stick to One Piece. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm going to do. Like, that's my main thing. That's my passion.
One of the things, that's really important. One of the things I tell people to get into YouTube is do something that you're passionate about, and also do something you're knowledgeable about, and then you will succeed. Or you have a better chance of succeeding. That's the problem with YouTube. I wish there was just like a list of things like, hey guys, follow steps 1 through 10, and you'll have 100,000 subs by the end of the month. But that's not how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's like really hard, like, especially like, you know, when people mention you, they practically say like you're the, you know, you're the like one of the Yonko, or like the biggest like One Piece.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Or like
yeah.
the biggest One Piece YouTuber.
Aww.
But what I really like about you is like, obviously you've got great content, you're a really nice guy, you know, got a really fun personality. But it's the fact that you it's the fact that you've taken, you know, your time to, you know, come do this podcast with me. And obviously I'm like nowhere near like in the sub realm that you are, but to me, okay, subs is really nice, and the reason
you can't just judge people based on sub count. Like when you start looking at people based on numbers, it's like I have a lower number than them, so I need to get better than them, or I have a higher number, so I'm therefore superior. That's not a good way to start viewing other human beings. You know?
the way I see subs, and I've said this in my video, like one of them before, is like, whoever subs to my channel, I appreciate every single person that subs. Like, it means the world to me. Like, the fact that people want to, you know, sub to my channel to, you know, go on my journey and see what I think about One Piece, like, whatever, like, theories or, like, reviews, whatever I'm going to put out. It's really nice, the fact that people, you know, want to watch my videos, and it's just so nice. But I see subs more as, like, people that want to join me on my journey, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and that's what means the most to me. I view my subscribers as like my nakama, as cringy as that sounds.
No, dude. You look who you're talking to. It takes a lot to one up me. So with the cringe. But anyway, yeah. Oh, by the way, that's something I mentioned it in the last video because I was telling these really cringy crow puns for Cardisu's video. But I typically don't use that word very often because to me, I don't think I'm cringy because I've acted this way my whole life. So it's just like, I'm not like, all right, I'm just acting how I act. And the funny thing about the cringe thing is, for most of YouTube, when I was on here, no one ever said that word. That word didn't start popping up until the last few years. I'm like, all right, guys, I haven't been doing anything different, but I guess I'm cringy now. Okay, fine, whatever.
I think it's just the fact you just got a really bubbly personality.
Thank you. I am bubbly. I bought bubbles for a video. I have a bubble gun somewhere. But no, I love my subscribers too. It's just, you know, as you get more of them, it becomes a little bit less. It becomes less easy to connect with them. I remember back in the golden days when I had like. This was like 2012 when I started live streaming on a website called Ustream, which it still exists, but they don't do like live streams the same way anymore. This was before Twitch. Justin TV may have existed, but this was before Twitch. This was before YouTube Live. It was on Ustream, and I only had like 1,000 subs, and I had like maybe 40, 50 people in a stream. And in a way, that was better because I could talk to each one of them like individually, basically. And it was like having a conversation with just a small group of people. Now, like you said earlier, it's like when I do streams, I get anywhere from like 1,200 to 1,400 people in there at sometimes even more than that. And it's like, it's going by so fast, I can't address every single comment. I just can't. So, yeah, and I get messages all the time, people talking to me, people sending me theories, people talking to me like, hey, I just love your content. I get so much mail. It's ridiculous. I can't respond to everything. I need a secretary.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, I really honestly do.
Yeah, no, it's like, I'll admit, I've got my own Discord, so, you know, I've got, like, only a very small amount of people that are in there, but, you know, I'm not saying I won't, but I try my best to, like, you know, respond to people.
Yeah.
And, like, if I go through my comments on YouTube, like, there's someone missed, I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to reply to these people, because I like to let people know that I know it's hard. Like someone, you know, like you and like someone like Roger Space, you know, all the big like names, King of Lightning. It's very hard to, you know, stay. You can connect with them, but I feel like you can connect better with them during live streams. It's still hard.
Yeah,
but it's like when it comes to videos,
you're really there. Yeah, and you can actually like communicate with them. I remember. Let me tell you a story. Do you know who that dude in the suede is?
Dude who? Sorry.
That dude in the suede is what he goes by.
I've heard the name. Yes. It rings a bell.
He was back in like 2000 and I want to say 7, 8. He was like the anime reviewing guy on thatguywiththeglasses.com with like Doug Walker and everybody.
Yeah.
He was on that website and he left the website. He does. I'm one of his patrons as well. He does Pokemon content mostly on his channel, and you know he was like probably before anybody on YouTube, any of the anime community that you now know them. Of course, there were many different people back in the day. It was like, I think Forever was still around. King actually, I think, started his channel a month after I started anime stuff. So yeah. But anyway, Suede was probably the first person I ever watched that talked about anime on the internet, and he did a live stream one night, and I sent him a question and he responded to it, and I was like a giddy little schoolgirl. I was like, oh my god, he responded to my question! I sent him a question, and a guy that I watch on the internet responded to it! I'm like, oh my god! And I was like 15 at the time, and it was just like, that's so cool. And I'm sure people probably get that, maybe not to the same level as me, like a little schoolgirl, but, you know, if I respond to their questions on streams and stuff, they get, you know, excited, and that kind of like, it's so weird, because it's like, I'm the guy now that people are looking for, you know, looking up to and stuff, and starting YouTube channels and talking about anime and stuff because they watch my videos. I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. I never expected I would get to this point.
Yeah, it's like, I can tell you my influence as well, because I found out about you, like, not too late, but it was after I started YouTube. Like, the people that I saw was like For Neverworld, I saw James Hansen, I saw Roger's Base. And, you know, I'll admit, I kind of went the wrong way when it comes to Roger's Base, because I just, like, fangirled, like, too much. And I feel like he's probably looking at me like, what, dude? Why? Sort of thing.
When I met a lot of fans at Tekko, and a few of them were kind of like, when they saw me, they were just, like, shocked. It's just like, oh my god, Tekking! I'm like, I know, it's cool, it's alright. You know, it's because they're kind of freaking out, they're nervous, and I'm just like, to me, I'm just like, dude, I'm just like a short, nerdy little kid. Like, you don't have to be nervous around me, seriously.
Yeah, that's how, like, you know, when we called each other earlier, and, like, you know, before we started this podcast, we were just chatting as if, like, you know, hey, how's your day, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's how I'm. So with me, I personally feel like I'm better over voice than I am messaging wise. See, like, I can hold messages, but
I feel that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think me and you are very similar in age, aren't we?
How old are you?
27, like literally just turned 27.
I just literally turned 26, so that works out.
Oh yeah, so very similar in age. So yeah, that's the main thing. But it's like, you know, like when we spoke in the last podcast, like this was the other one. Like, you know, my personal favorite YouTuber is Swag Kage. I think the guy is, like, amazing. I love his content.
I haven't talked to him very much. I don't know if I was ever. I think I was in a stream with him at least once or twice. I don't remember. I mean, probably maybe the Reverie at some point too. But I think there was like some other stream I was part of where he was in there, maybe the Rant Cafe or something. But yeah, that's another thing too. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers like that are really big, and I've talked to them, but it's only been like once or twice. Like, I think I've only spoken to Forever like once on a stream. One time a long time ago.
Yeah, because I don't know. He's very funny when it comes to Reveries. Like, I think I only ever seen him like once or twice.
Yeah, same Swag, with yeah, he makes some really good content. Yeah.
Same with Sawyer Seven Mage. That dude just like makes a review and then disappears off the face of the earth.
Yeah, Sawyer. Like... I mean, hey, look, I can kind of understand that, because look, here's the thing. When I started YouTube, when I started the anime stuff and I started, you know, gaining subscribers, I thought to myself, you know, I need to have everything. I need to have a Facebook. I need to have a YouTube. I need to have an Instagram. I don't know if Instagram existed yet, but you know what I mean. Like, I just needed to have. I needed to have all these kinds of social media, and then over the years, I kind of realized, you know, it's probably considering it's just me. I mean, I'm just one guy that has to manage all of this. It would probably be better to keep the simplest, you know, keep it minimalistic. So it's like, I got my YouTube channel, which is the home base for everything. I have a side channel, which I upload to sometimes, and I have a Twitter. And that's really all I need to do what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I understand that. I literally, do you know, I still have Facebook, but
yeah,
I don't really use it. I don't really use it.
I go on there all the time to see what's up. Like, I get most of my news through Facebook, honestly, but I never post on there. I have a fan page. I was really good at posting on the fan page when I was reviewing Bleach, and then after One Piece, I pretty much moved everything to Twitter just because it's easier to get information out on Twitter and everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't really. There's a few Discords that people started. I started one of them, and then I realized there's no way I could manage this Discord. Like, I just don't have time to do it, so I gave it to Ryan to manage. And if anyone else wants to start a Discord, if anyone else wants to start like their own fan communities, that's fine. I'm okay with that, of course. But just the ones that I can handle, probably just YouTube, Twitter, and then like like the side channel and everything. As that's good enough for me. Sawyer is hard to get a hold of, though, I will admit. I think we tried to get him for a Reverie once, and we just couldn't get in contact with him. I don't remember. I think I messaged him once for one of the charity streams, and he never responded, or maybe it was for something else I did. He never responded. But, yeah, I mean, I can't really say, though, just, hey, he just wants to do YouTube, but then go out and do the rest of his life, separate from that. And I can't really see that as a wrong thing to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. It's like with me, as I said, I have my own personal Facebook, but I usually just use a messenger in it, to be honest. Sometimes I'll have a look here and there if people tag me and stuff, but I mainly use Twitter and like YouTube now. That's mainly it.
Yeah. I mean, you also don't want to get burnt out, and you don't want to become just. I don't want to just be like in front of my computer all the time answering, angry messages at me or whatever, and just like, well, you said this, but actually I meant that. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I just like, all right, I'll do YouTube and Twitter, and I love live streams. I love to talk to my fans there. That's pretty much where I do most of the interaction, is over streams. But other than that, I just kind of want to like, all right, I need to make sure that I stay healthy physically and mentally. I need to get outside and get exercise, and I also need to like do other stuff away from the computer for a little while. So yeah, that's how I've been doing it, especially since I've been doing this for 10 years, and I want to keep doing it as long as possible. So yeah, same here. Like I had a channel. I started this channel that I'm doing now, like my actual KAIOKNUCKLES one. I started it back in 2014. Okay.
But I was mainly recording like bands, because it's like, I used to go to a lot of gigs. Don't really necessarily go to, I still listen to bands, but I don't really necessarily go to the gigs as much. And I was just sitting there, I was like, I actually want to do something with this. And I only started literally a couple of years ago. But I feel like as I've got to sort of know people a bit more, kind of sort of looked back at my old videos, like, dude, trust me, I look back at my very, very first video, and I feel like I look at myself and I'm like,
Nobody
I can't even watch myself.
Nobody's good at their first video. That's one thing that kind of unites.
I look at myself like, I cannot watch my own video. I know it's me.
That's one thing that unites everybody. Their first videos always suck. Sometimes even if you go on really popular channels, they'll actually delete their first few videos and then it'll just cut to the good stuff. But the first video they ever did, it's not going to be good. Unless they specialized in video production and acting or something before they started YouTube. Your first video is going to be shit. And I leave mine up because I like to go back and watch my old stuff and be like, that's where I came from. That's where I came from. I started with this. If I ever do, because I've been asked to do this. I went back to my old high school a few years ago, and there was a teacher there that taught like basically using technology to like as a career. And she's like, hey, if you want to come back in and give as a guest speaker, we would love to have you. And I didn't do it. But, if I ever did do it, I would show people, I would just walk into a room full of teenagers and show them my first video. Horribly shot. Like, I just got my braces put on. I was 16 years old. Like, hey, everybody. And I'd be like, listen, that guy, I somehow managed to pull a career out of that. So, that's proof that anybody could do this.
Yeah, like, dude, I'll look back on my first video and I'm like, obviously I don't want to sound big-headed here, but I'm like, I wouldn't even watch myself, but I'm going to keep this up. Like, I'm going to keep these videos up. Like, I'm not going to delete them. And I look at myself now and I can see like a drastic improvement.
I watch my old stuff all the time because it's like, all right, first off, it's like, let's say I watch an older video and I tell a joke and the joke sucks, but I'm like, well, it sucks, but maybe I can rework it and make it work now that I know a little bit more about public speaking and stuff, and I'll redo stuff. I'll do that all the time. Yeah. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what was it? I think do you know what? One of the videos I actually watched of yours, and like I was like, did this actually really happen? Because like it was the one where you were working and you said some girl noticed your Soul Reaper badge as a wristband. And then you said about you saw her a couple of times, and then there was the boyfriend that came in, and then you saw her again. And
oh no, that was okay. That was one of the bullshit stories. Yeah, that wasn't real.
Yeah. That was great.
That was part of a series I did on my vlog channel where I watched. What happened was I watched a YouTuber tell just a nonsense bullshit story, but it was super entertaining, and I laughed so hard. I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing on my channel. So I did, and there's a few of those like that. There's one where I found a cult of people living out in the woods. There's ones where I found a bunch of furries having sex in the woods. I live in Pennsylvania, so a lot of them involve the woods. But no,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair enough.
But there was a few other ones that were true stories that I told. Like there were a few other stories about Dollar Tree on there that actually happened. But that one, yeah, that one was the About Last Night video. Yeah, that was fake. Yeah, that didn't happen.
That it was brilliant though. I loved it.
It was
It's
it was
fantastic.
more about stuff because I'm sitting at work for like 6 hours thinking about like what would I like to happen. Like it would be cool if a girl walked in, like and so okay, it didn't actually happen, but I'll tell the story later on.
Yeah. So is Mr. Tekken single, or is he
Oh no, yeah,
or has he got a lady?
I'm 100% single. I am 130% single actually.
Oh, so no love for Tekken at the moment, no.
Nah. Yeah,
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe someday. I'm 26. You get to a point where it's like, okay. Here's the thing. So I was actually at the park a few days ago practicing tennis, and this was like there was a few high school kids hanging out in the park, just talking, and I'm practicing tennis in the tennis court, and they're sitting there talking about how, like, did you hear that, like, Dave broke up with Sarah? Like, oh no, but Sarah's dating, and I'm just sitting there practicing my tennis, and I'm like, oh my god, to be in high school again and be so concerned about, like, who's dating who's having sex, and it's like, when I was in high school, I was concerned about that. Like, I have to find a girlfriend or else I'm inferior to everybody. But then after high school and after college, you're just like, it'll happen when it happens. If it happens, it's whatever. Like I'm not gonna go crazy about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess this could be the final question.
Yeah, go for it.
What is the future of Tekking101's channel?
Hopefully, it still is a channel. Like you always have to think about the future of YouTube. And one thing that I recommend for any YouTuber that's like, up and coming and you're getting up there, and okay, this kind of doesn't apply if you have a lot of subscribers. Like if you have like 10 million plus subscribers, odds are you've probably already saved up enough money. You should be good. You know what I mean? Like if Markiplier stopped making videos tomorrow, he would still be good if he saved his money correctly.
Yeah.
But you always have to look to the future, and YouTube is, you never know what's going to happen with the website. Like everything was going pretty good for a while, then the adpocalypse happened. So my plan is, look, I'm going to keep doing YouTube as long as I can. I'm going to keep talking about One Piece. People have asked, what happens after One Piece ends? Like, One Piece isn't going to end. The manga might end. The anime is going to keep going. It makes way too much money. They're not just going to stop. They're not going to, well, guys, the manga's over, so no more One Piece anime. It makes way too much money. They're not going to stop. So there'll be always something for me to talk about. And by that point, maybe My Hero Academia will be like the new One Piece. It'll be super, super big by that point. It already is pretty popular. Who knows? But I also have to plan, like, let's say one day YouTube decides no more anime content, or anime content gets demonetized. It's not impossible. It might happen. It's like, well, I got my bachelor degree, and I would have to go and get a regular job. And I wouldn't like that. I love doing YouTube. I would love to keep doing it for the rest of my life. But you also have to, you can't just assume everything's going to be good. You have to you have to plan for contingencies and stuff like that. And I know that might sound kind of like disheartening to a lot of people, but it's realistic, and it's what you have to kind of, plan for everything. I've known people that have dropped out of college to do YouTube, or to follow whatever something, their job that they're certain that they're going to do good at. And I was like, okay, that's great, but if it doesn't work out, then you're probably going to wish that you finished college. And it took me a long time to finish college. I was in college from fall of 2011. I didn't get my bachelor degree until January of 2018. Should have taken me 4 years. It took me closer to 7. But I got it, and that's all that matters. I got it.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, there was something I wanted to ask before this final question, but I'll add it in now anyway. One Piece Stampede.
Yeah. I'm pumped for it. I was actually thinking before the trailers came out, I thought maybe Rox would be involved with it, because they did that with Strong World. They mentioned Shiki in the manga, and then boom, Shiki was in Strong World. So I was thinking, they mentioned Rox in the manga and Reverie, maybe boom, Rox shows up as the enemy of Stampede. But no, but they are getting more members of the Roger crew involved in this Pirate Expo, and we're going to see Smoker and Tashigi again and everybody. It looks like a really fun movie. I'm always pumped to see One Piece stuff. I don't know how quickly Funimation's going to dub it. I hope it gets somewhat of a limited theatrical release in America. I would definitely drive to go see it, so we'll see. But I have high hopes for it. Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm hoping it comes to the UK. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get Film Gold.
Yeah, how does Broly came out in January? How did that work out for you guys? Did you get it there? Or?
It did fantastic. It lasted a good couple of months, like in the cinemas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We got it. Oh, good. Well, here it only came to select theaters. Luckily, one of them was fairly close to my house. I'm thinking anime movies are getting a lot more attention because, like 5-6 years ago, they would screen them, but it would only be like at limited theaters over the country. Now it's a little bit more widespread. And I went to go see Broly opening night, and it was a packed house. I mean, people loved it.
Oh yeah, like me and my girlfriend and one of my mates, we went the first night as well. Literally after the film finished, because it was sold out. Yeah. Everyone clapped. There was a round of applause. And the thing is, like, a month before that, I went to see the My Hero film on its release, like the Two Heroes film, which I did thoroughly enjoy that one as well. But there wasn't the same... It had a really good atmosphere, but with the Dragon Ball Super, there was a lot more atmosphere. I feel like it's Dragon Ball. You're going to get that from a Dragon Ball film. But I want to see what One Piece is like, and that's depending whether Manga Entertainment actually bring One Piece Stampede over here, which I'm hoping they will, because they didn't bring Film Gold over here, which was annoying.
Yeah, Film Gold was one of those things. It did get an American release, but it wasn't anywhere close to where I live. It would be like only in the major cities of the like LA and stuff is where they aired Film Gold, I believe. But
yeah.
I'm hoping this one gets a lot more, because One Piece they're getting that live action Netflix version.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm gonna go into that with an open mind. I will have a look at it.
That's what I do with a lot of stuff. I went into the Death Note Netflix movie with an open mind, and I'm like, not a fan. Not a fan.
Neither here. No way.
Yeah. But, hey, you got to take these things as they come. You can't judge one thing based off another thing before it even comes out.
Yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to One Piece. Whether it does come over here or not, I'll still watch it, like, regardless. Because it looks fantastic. Like, I looked at the trailers, it looked beautiful. The fact that there's, like, everyone, and it's including Foxy as well. So I'm wondering how Foxy's going to act during this Pirate Expo. Probably doing his sneaky, cheeky stuff.
They're bringing him back again. We'll see.
So how'd you think Bullet's going to be from Roger's crew during the film? Because he looks pretty badass.
Oh, yeah, that dude, yeah. He has Conquerors, and that's like 5 members of Roger's crew that have Conquerors now confirmed, which is crazy, but you expect nothing less from his crew. No idea what he's going to be all about, but he seems pretty badass, and it'll probably be a pretty epic fight. I'm imagining, because this is coming off of Totland, I'm imagining final battle between Luffy and Bullet. He's going to bust out Snake Man, King Clover.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
All the stuff he pulled off against Katakuri. That's probably how they're going to finish him off. But it should be a pretty metal fight, yeah. Yeah,
I can't wait. But, yeah, guys, I think that about wraps up. Tekken, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast for having
No problem, Kaio. Anytime. Just let me know. Yeah. Wish you success with your podcast adventure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So, guys, if you liked the first podcast, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you go check out Tekken's channel. I'll leave his YouTube channel down in the description, of course.
Thank you.
And, if you guys enjoyed it, like, name some people that you want to come on here. I'm pretty sure Tekken... might end up throwing some people that he thinks would be good. Maybe we could get Tekken and someone else on again. Which I think
sure, absolutely.
Yeah. All right then, guys. Well, I'll see you in the next one. So peace out.